Superman was one. We played that game together. The Superman NES game, because I know what everybody's going to say is, oh, Superman 64. Everybody just wants to jump to Superman 64, and I don't know what the obsession with that is. It's like the most hated Nintendo 64 game, because it is a piece of shit. But
they were right.
No. They are right. But there was episode 50 with also, I think, one of the shittiest NES games was Superman, and that was episode 50 of The Nerd, which we played together.
You know what's really funny about the script?
Yeah.
You want to notice something?
What's that?
Okay, here we go. Like, let's see if see how long it takes you to notice it. Wait, hang on.
Every time. Okay, so every time it says the word fuck, James has it in bold and underlined. Is that so that you make sure to emphasize it?
I don't remember. I think there was something.
Or you just thought it was funny.
Yeah, I just feel like, see, the thing is, I don't give a fuck about this kind of stuff anymore. But like, I think at that time,
it was how many fucks you were putting into the video.
I was like just curious. I was like, let's see how many times I actually say it, because everybody was like, oh, the videos used to be like creative and well written, but now it's all just fuck. And I was like, hasn't it always been fuck? The Karate Kid video, episode 3, I'm screaming fuck at the beginning of the video, and the word fuck is coming out of my mouth. And then they're saying,
right, which is like the first video, or I mean, kind of in a way, it's the first video. And
they're saying the old videos like didn't have the cursing in it. Right. So I think at that time I was like really confused and frustrated, and now I've just come to the realization that I don't care about that, because people just
when we really play games, and you see this all the time with James and Mike Mondays, like you can see that on camera, but regardless of whether we're recording or not, if it was just you and I sitting here and there's no cameras or anything, we're playing a game, you die, you fall, and this isn't just you and me, this is everybody. You play a video game, you die, something frustrating happens, you say fuck. It's just what happens. Or you can say other things, but a lot of times it's, oh fuck, shit, I fell. It's part of playing video games, and it's perfect for comedy and humor. Yeah, it doesn't have to come from cursing and all that, but I think it's the perfect thing for something like the Angry Video Game Nerd, because it is part of playing video games, especially bad, frustrating video games.
Part of these scripts is to keep them real, to keep them like real human language. Like, what do you say when you play games to make it seem like you're actually sitting down with somebody playing games?
Because otherwise, it would be robotic. That's why the show is good, because it's not a robotic, boring video.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it can be like an educational lesson. Well, today, everybody, this is the Atari 2600, and it came out in 1977, and blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm already asleep.
But it's good I'm saying it's good to mix it up, too. Like, so lots of times it's written more like no one would actually be able to just fluently say a lot of things I write, where it's kind of just like, it's not human to be like,
to get everything perfect. There's no ums and ahs.
Yeah, like this. Like we're talking, I say like 1,000 times and don't even realize it, you know. But see, I just did it there. Now I'm conscious of it. But
like I say, like a lot. Like
everybody says like, and we don't know we're saying it until we play it back, you know. But see, there I go. I'm thinking about what I'm saying next. Right. See, when you read a script, you read it like perfectly without any stutters. I mean, it takes a few takes to get it, and then you edit it down until it all is perfect.
This is pretty awesome. You got the scripts for Zelda CDI Part 1, 2, and 3. I would imagine those had to have been some of the hardest videos to make.
They were up there, especially as far as gameplay time. They took
That's what I meant, as far as playing the game. And writing the review portion of those scripts.
Yeah. As you can see here, I underlined a lot of parts are underlined here on CDI Part 1.
Is that to emphasize?
This one in particular, I think, is because it's whenever I need a close-up of a game, you know, or if I need a close-up of my hands on the controller, anything specific that I need. Typically, a nerd video is broken down into, like, I'm going to say, like, 3 shots. Three different setups, I should say. One setup is the obvious. It's me sitting on the couch. It's always going to be that. I'm always going to be sitting there. Some videos might have more. There might be an angle from like the side. There might be an angle from behind the couch going over my shoulder. So there might be other shots, but generally the main shot, the main setup is me sitting on the couch. So I'll film all that.
Now I'm starting to feel like we should be filming it in the nerd room, but James brought these over to my place because he needed me to sign them for this auction. But go ahead.
But that's the main setup, so I'll film all that in a row. Then, how many times do I show a cartridge? So then I will actually film every time, whenever there's like an actual game, I'll set up the camera one time and I'll get all those shots in a row. Just keep them coming. I usually have like a stack of, like if it's a bunch of games, it'll be like, you know, and then there's like the third one would be like, okay, controllers. Like, okay, is there ever a part where I'm talking about how you have to hold the D-pad to do a certain move or something? And then sometimes also, then there's shots of the console. So there's the game going into the console.
And that you have to move the tripod all over the place.
You never think, but filming a game going into a console is one of the most awkward, difficult shots because you have a camera in between you and the console.
A big, bulky camera.
Over. I have to do several takes because when I'm reaching that far, because you don't normally, when you don't have a camera here and I'm just going to like put a game into a console, you just do it. You just do it. But if there's a camera in between you, you have to do it like this. Like I'm reaching really far. I'm reaching like through the tripod legs sometimes.
Yeah.
So then when I go to do it, I'll usually miss, and it's awkward. Like here's the game, here's the cartridge, and it goes like clink. Like
just for the video, you don't want it to look like you're like something wrong.
I don't want it to look like I'm like trying to get this cartridge in. So I'll do it again, and then I'll do it again and again until I get it right. You'll never think, but those are some of the most difficult shots to pull off.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I know you know, but I'm telling everybody else.
I mean, that's one thing I've done a lot of is getting shots of cartridges and things like that. And it's like, a lot of times, like, your hand will be shaking if you're trying to, like, hold it. And it's like, oh, God. You know.
Well, when you're filming a cartridge, because the problem is, especially these newer cameras we have, the focus is limited to, like, probably about this far. If you get closer than this to the camera,
it goes out of focus.
Then, like, it goes out of focus. So to get the cartridge in focus, you have to hold it in a very specific place, and it can't go too far away either because there's like a very shallow range of focus depending on the lens, depending on how open the iris is, you know, how much light is in the shot. So a lot of times I have to like blast it with light to put all these lights around, and so I can close
just to get a shot of a fucking cartridge.
Yeah, to close the iris down so that you get a wider range of focus, and then still you're holding the cartridge like this, and your hand is like shaking because you're holding your arm out.
Meanwhile, that's just one shot.
It's just one shot.
Why is your Bible game 2 script ripped in half? Did the cat eat it?
Probably what happened, my guess, is that when I got to that part, I probably needed to remember it, so I might have ripped it off
and put it on
taped it on the camera.
There you go.
Probably,
that's probably what it was. All kinds of stuff in these. This is a great.
There were some. Oh well, this is all the notes that I wrote because you know how lots of times what happens is when we're when we're very first stage before the script ever begins, the first thing you do is play the game. That's where it always starts.
Step one is basically James and Mike Mondays.
Sort of. I mean, that's basically like.
But a lot of times it's just you.
Yeah. It's basically like a lot of times it's either just me or sometimes it's both of us. We play the game and we write the notes while we're playing it because this does two things. This, for one thing, is what you build the script off of. And I just realized I'm starting to repeat myself a lot. If you see AVGN, the Barbie episode, which is also the majority of it is a making of documentary, watch that. That explains it all better than I can right now.
There you go. But, well, what can we say about this in particular?
I will summarize, though. It's basically the notes to remember what happened during the gameplay. So you're recording the gameplay, and while you're doing that, I'm time coding notes so that I can come back and find all the spots that I was talking about. So when you write the script, I write them based on the things that I know I have the footage of.
These are all notes, so he can go back to 2130 and know that that's the part that he needs to use when he goes to edit the video.
Otherwise, you would be scanning the footage for hours. And this seems like a lot of work, like extra work up front, but this saves a lot of time in the long run to get the video done faster. See, a lot of these notes would not make sense to anybody other than myself because that's, I wrote it for myself back then, so I can't even remember what a lot of these are. But based on the time codes and having it fresh in my mind right after playing the game, I would know what these are at the time.
So just notes, old notes.
Some of these I would use when I was like, there's a part in the Jaguar video where I was talking about I'm going to invent a game that's really random, because I was playing Attack of the Mutant Penguins. And I wanted to remember something about shark, palm trees, trains, apple, turkey. So I wrote down all the key words in the monologue so that I would sit it right here and I'd be actually reading off of the page. Well, not reading, but I would kind of glance over at the words just to remind myself what, to say next.
Where I remember, let's say in the Karate Kid video, one of the earliest videos, where you would look at the camera and I could almost tell that in certain parts, I think you were probably just like reading off a page because you had the notes just like this or whatever. And sometimes you do that. You hang it below the camera or something like that. Do you use that same method or do you try to memorize?
A lot of it I memorize, but then also if it's something really long, then I do the same thing. I stick things all around the camera
and things.
Yeah, a lot of times they're summarized. A lot of times it's not the actual script. It's like just the words like that
to get you to remember what the next thing is.
I think the longest one that I ever remembered was in Tiger Games. I rehearsed it a bunch of times and looked at the notes. And when I hit record, believe it or not, I did it in the first take.
Wow!
Because I spent.
You're good like that.
Yeah, I mean. It was only because I spent so much time reading it again and again.
Sometimes I'm with James, and what's funny is I mark this just so if anybody ever wants to know, here's my handwriting and here's James' handwriting. So whoever gets this and you go through, you'll know who wrote what.
But I'll sit here before the camera rolls. I'll just sit here and I'll read it again and again and again and again and again and again. And I know that there exist teleprompters, but I want it to be more natural than that. So. Not to mention, it's hard to operate a teleprompter when...
You tried it like once or twice, didn't you?
I've tried before, but the speed, you got to control the speed of the scroll, and you need a second person to do that. Because you can't be sitting here, trying to read it, and then you're waiting for the next part to scroll up. You know what I mean?
Because I can't always be there. And a lot of times you're filming these things. It could be 2 o'clock in the morning and you're trying to film a video. Because you got to remember, these videos are not done at NBC Studios or anything. And it's only you. And maybe you might have me there once in a while or somebody. But usually it's just you trying to film. And you're
focused on the camera.
Doing everything.
Is it in focus? I'm looking at the script. Is it in focus here? And
and there's a lot of occasions where... You cannot do it on your own, so you have to have another person. So he'll call me over, and I'll help out. Like in the Dracula video, I was doing the bats and things, and very important stuff like that, like operating bats on strings. James calls me up. He's like, "Mike, come over. You got to operate bats on strings." I'm like, "I'll be over. I'll be over."
Yeah.
Say about. I mean, the end of the Moonwalker video had that whole part where you turn into the cat, which is hilarious.
Yeah, I remember you liked that part.
I do. I think everybody loves that part. Oh, here it is. There's a little. This is hilarious. I mean, you should get a shot of this. But if there's just a drawing of you on the ground, and then the drawing is actually really funny.
Yeah, sometimes
turn into cat. Okay, I got something to say about winter games. Winter games, for a very long time, I thought it would be important for the nerd. If the nerd ever had to go outside, what would the nerd wear? Because he always wears the white shirt. If the nerd ever went out, well, he can't just go to have a regular jacket. He's the nerd. It's got to be video game something. So there was that Atari jacket. I remember bidding for years and years and years on eBay to get that damn Atari jacket, and I lost many auctions trying to get it. And this is going back years and years ago. And finally, an adult, because the problem was most of the those Atari jackets.
The adult one was it hardly fits me.
Yeah, well, the adult size, but finally I find the Atari jacket comes up on eBay. It's the adult size one. I'm like, all right, I'm winning this because the nerd has to wear this jacket. So finally, I'm bidding, and then you told me, is this true or not? That the person I ended up bidding against was fucking Pat.
I think it was Pat.
Because Pat told him years later, I was bidding on this auction on eBay.
I lost that to Mike. He's
I outbid Pat for the Atari jacket. And we didn't know that we were bidding against each other.
The way it looks from the back looks
not good.
Stupid.
Right.
Because...
I think that's the Star Wars video. Because you turn around and you look at the...
oh my God, the buffalo shit all over... Right. I turn around and then I just can't stand it because I don't see what my back looks like when I'm filming.
Yeah.
I don't see it till later. I'm looking at the footage and I'm like, well, here's the jacket... And then here's my white shirt.
The shirt's going in.
It looks like I'm wearing a tiny little jacket, and that's the adult size. Yeah. And then the Batman one, you would think if someone made a Batman mask, the back would be enclosed, but it's not. The back is just open. It's my fucking hair out the back, and I'm like, well, that looks stupid.
Little Red Hood, I have to say, is one of my favorite episodes from the whole series. That episode is fucking hilarious, and I think it epitomizes what the Angry Video Game Nerd is all about.
Well, it's a very bad game, so I think that helped a lot.
It always helps to have a bad game, right?
It was ripe material.
What's this one? Oh, AVGN Transformers. I love the part with the Tabasco. Good stuff. Why is it all in purple? Is it you were trying to be a Decepticon?
No. You know why? Probably because the printer was out of ink, and then it was out of black ink.
Why does it need?
Because
why does a printer, if you're printing black?
Well, yeah, I mean that was an instance where there was no black ink, but yeah, when you are printing black, for some reason it always needs color. Even if you turn the color off in the settings completely, still it always wants to use a little bit of color to make black. Well, there's a it's bullshit video all about that, so watch the episode.
Oh yeah,
how much I hate printers.
What is this?
This is a good one. This is Crazy Castle.
Oh boy, Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle.
So look, we have the sketch. We have here is the script with the shot numbers on the left.
This is something you don't do all that often. But...
This is for the most complicated videos. Right?
So James did the best he could to schedule it all out. Like he's got 1 p.m. Bugs dummy shot, 2 p.m. Mike records all voiceover, 2:30 p.m. dummy change, and it goes on and on. But then I'm doing Bugs Bunny voices for 8 hours, and then it all gets thrown off, right?
Yeah.
Because I take too long when I'm doing my voices. Anyway, so and this also has, look at this. This is awesome. This is all of the storyboards for the Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle video, and that was one of the craziest videos. Look at all these. How many? There's like 100 of these fucking things in here.
That was a lot. That was a lot of shots.
So this is like a hand-drawn comic book made by James. So that's pretty awesome.
Here is the grocery list of all the things we needed, like carrots. We needed let's see, the guitar, the rabbit feces. And then here's the list of the different phases of for continuity. We filmed as much in order as we could because of all the different phases the nerd goes through. Regular nerd, poopy face nerd after I get shit on, then burnt. Then I get burnt. Then I'm bleeding, and then I get the custard pie in my face. So it was like all these different setups.
We got Board James going on. Board James Dragon Strike. Crossfire. This is the first appearance of Motherfucker Mike. And actually, where does it say?
Let me introduce Motherfucker Mike.
There you go, right there. You have the first appearance of Motherfucker Mike.
Yeah. So sign that part right
there.
I'll
sign it right now. You're going to see me sign it. So tell us about the creation of the name Motherfucker Mike.
It was just thought up very quickly because we had Board James, and then this was the first time we ever showed you in a video, like unmasked or anything like that. And we just figured, well, if I'm Bored James, what are you? Like, can we just make up a character? Like, just...
People often ask me, speaking of Motherfucker Mike, people will come up to me at conventions, people will email me and tweet me and things, and on live streams, I always get this question about Motherfucker Mike, and they say, are you offended if I call you Motherfucker Mike? Because, if you go up to somebody on the street, like a random person, be like, hey, motherfucker, like, it's like, you don't do that, right? So I can understand why people feel that way, but, like, I played a character in a video. Obviously, if I had a problem with it, I wouldn't have done the video. I would have said to you, I would have been like, I don't want to be called Motherfucker Mike. I don't, So I don't have a problem. I think it's great. I love the name Motherfucker Mike. If you want to call me Motherfucker Mike, you can come up to me at any point in the day, anytime, and be like, hey, motherfucker. And I will think that that's great. So there you go. Yeah, the Ouija episode. And this was a big episode. I know Nightmare was big, but this one was also a lot of work.
Yeah, it was a huge one.
Setting up all those dominoes and
you donated the Elvis costume to the charity.
This is all for charity. We haven't even mentioned that in a little while. This stuff is going out to charity.
Yeah. Well, I'll have a separate video about it beforehand.
Okay. But the Elvis costume that was in the Ouija episode of Board James, and also was used in the AVGN movie, was actually my personal Elvis costume, but it's going out for charity, so I hope you guys enjoy it. We got lie detector. Look at why are there all these check marks? Look at all these check marks.
That's actually like a shot list on a script where basically like every time when I needed a close-up of like in lie detector, there were so many close-ups I needed of like cards. There's the gambler, there's the artist, the musician, you know, all these cards.
So you were checking off the words instead of making drawings.
Like anything that was a card, I circled in blue.
Okay.
And I'm remembering this as I'm looking at it. And I would check them off as I finished them.
This looks like crazy.
Oh yeah. Well,
it is crazy.
The videos are crazy.
Yeah.
And then whenever it was something else, like if it was the lie detector, the machine, I circled it in red. So, and then if it was me talking, I circled it in black.
Right.
So everything where I'm on screen is circled in black.
Omega Virus, which was the first episode of season 3. Again, you're doing all the check marks to make sure you get all the shots.
Yeah, you could tell the strategies change a lot because it depends.
You're all over the place with your strategies of doing these.
It depends on the video. Like, what does this video need to get done the fastest?
Right.
Look at the most efficient.
Now this one's got all highlighting on it of blue and yellow. Look at all this blue and yellow highlighting. There
were 3 board games in this video. There was like multiple, personalities.
It's to tell which board games is which.
Exactly. So I would shoot. There was the blue board games, the yellow board games. It would basically be a slightly different camera angle. So then at the end, you figure out that they actually are all 3 sitting there. So that was just to keep track.
I didn't even know that until right now.
Oh.
I mean, I know in the video, like at the end, it shows the 3.
Yeah.
But during the whole video.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, is it? I have to you know what? I have to watch the video again because I haven't watched it in a while. I like that because a lot of times I help him with the videos, but when you make one and then you just show it to me, and especially when I don't even know you're like working on it, and then he shows me, I'm like, I can just like enjoy it without having any preconceived like ideas about it. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I was Chop Top, played the crazy guy.
You'd see in that script, I break it up between plot, graphics. Like pretty much like all the different aspects of the game. Instead of just playing the game in order and then showing everything in order. Like,
right, no, absolutely, yeah.
And another thing I always think about is, am I writing in present tense or am I writing in past tense? So I'm thinking about, am I going to write this as if I'm experiencing it as I'm talking? Like, oh, look what's happening to me right now. Oh, wait, what do I do here? You know, like I'm talking as if I'm actually playing it.
Right.
And then other times I'm talking it as if it's like parts where it's all edited together, like all different parts of the game. Then I switch to past tense where I'm like, so then you got to do all this and then you do that and that, and things are kind of cutting together.
You jump around a lot.
Yeah.
Like that, right.
And so I think it's important to know when are you, to be conscious of it. Like when are you talking in present tense? When are you talking in past tense? And how to naturally get between those two. Because sometimes you want present, sometimes you want past. And
you wonder why these videos take a long time to make. So ID4.
The writing is a big part. It's a huge part.
That's what I meant by that. Is I think people underappreciate how. I think the writing is. You know what the hardest thing is? I mean, writing is probably maybe number 1, but the damn audio work on the videos, that takes fucking forever. And that's one thing that nobody thinks about. People think about, if they're thinking about you doing a nerd video, they think about you in front of the camera and doing all the on-camera, or maybe like the fight scenes that we do. That's like the kind of the memorable stuff. Nobody thinks about how 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, you're sitting there like, editing the audio and stuff. It's like that shit takes forever.
It's to do like a mix because like you want to balance the sound effects from the game with your voice, and then you have to fade the music in and out at certain times where, you know, like when you stop talking, then you want like the sounds from the game to get louder, and then it goes back again.
More of the Halloween video.
I shouldn't have bagged out. There you go, you little fuckers. There's some chocolate for you. Oh, by the way, and like I wouldn't curse in front of the kids, so we filmed my part completely separate. Where when I'm talking to nobody. But then when the kids are there, then it's just they say their lines. So I never actually cursed in front of them. So then the next thing is he goes, "That's not chocolate. That's poop. It's not chocolate, nor is it poop. It's shit." I love that line.
I wonder if those kids going back and watching that video.
Like now they're grown up.
They're probably, Sega, some stuff about Sega CD. Like, what? This is all like. What's all
you see, this is where I would tape it to the camera.
Okay.
Like all these little things.
I see the pieces of tape.
I would cut it up and then I would tape it to the camera. So I just sit there and I read it. You know.
So not only was a Saturn on the way, but so was the PlayStation and Nintendo 64. Gamers knew it was a better idea just to wait. Stores were selling the 32X. This is from the 32X.
Wait, did I say that in the video?
Now,
Wait, did I say that?
Now, excuse me, I'm gonna go lick my cat's pussy piss slit. So you get...
I might have cut that because I thought it was too much. Did I? Is that in the video?
No, it's not. But it should be. You should use that. Use that next time.
Wait a minute. Hang on.
That's funny.
Wait, not only was the Saturn on the way, but what scripted? Hold on, what video is this?
That sounds like the 32X.
And the games were too smart.
The 32X?
That's when I shoot the arrow through the 32X. But right before that, apparently, according to the script, I say, now, excuse me. I'm gonna go lick my cat's.
So think about that.
I can't believe I wrote that.
I can't believe you didn't use it. What a bad decision to not use that. So wait, so you shoot the arrow, the flaming arrow, and then the nerd walks up to the camera and he goes, now excuse me, I'm gonna go lick my cat's pussy piss slit.
Can I please take a picture of that? Before this gets sent away?
Yeah.